Yes, yes. It's Thursday again. That means it is Spiritual Matters Thursday here at the Daily Huddle. So welcome everybody. Welcome one and all. I'm your host, Dr. Monikah Ogando, flanked by the beautiful Lisette and a host of other friends. We are going to be talking today about, are you creating, or should I say, what version of yourself are you consciously creating? And we're going to delve into which one you're unconsciously creating too, because I think sometimes we put ourselves in this automatic and we're just running on automatic. And it's not until we take a pause and take account and take a look at our results, our experience, etc., that we can consciously come up with an answer. And so today we're going to be talking about, one of my very favorite quotes is Carl Jung. Carl Jung has been credited as saying, I'm not sure if he actually said it, but he has been credited as saying, if you do not make the unconscious conscious, it will drive your life and you will call it fate. So we're going to be talking about the conscious creation of the version of yourself that you're living. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. Yes, yes, welcome one and all. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Like I said, my name is Dr. Monikah Ogando, your host for Thursday Spiritual Matters. And let's get grounded in this now moment so that we can all be here playing from the same sheet of music. So, excuse me, Mr. Author Robin C. Stern, I beg your pardon, darling. How are you? And what are you thankful for? It better be that book.
I am so good. I am the way I say I am. And today I am freaking rock star quality is what I am. And thankful. I am thankful for another day to glorify God and to help more people understand how awesome it is that we get to be on this planet at this time right now and what effect we can have to make people's lives better. That's what I'm thankful for.
Oh my goodness, I love it. What a way to start the morning. I'm lit up.
Good.
I'm going to recharge my batteries.
And it worked.
Yes, and it works. Yes, yes. Rashida, where are you? And who are you hugging today?
Good morning, my family Daily Huddle. Where I am right here, right now, where I supposed to be, but I'm in Costa Rica. Yay! I am in Costa Rica, but I'm here and I'm so happy to share space with you all guys.
Right. Oh, I so love it. You guys, just to put a bug in your ear, Rashida may or may not be the person that we are contacting to host a retreat in Costa Rica Daily Huddle style. Don't just keep that plugged in your ear. Ooh. Dan, my friend.
Hey.
What time is it? And who are you? I'm going to ask you also, who are you hugging today?
Hey, well, Doc, the time is now, Dr. Ogando. Now, the only time that there really is. And I'm going to hug my wife today and one of my garden buddies, because, I got a garden, right? So I'm going to hug one of my garden buddies. And I'm going to hug a tree out there in the garden, too.
Oh, come on, everybody.
Hey, Robin.
I love it. I love it. Lovely. Okay, well, so today we are talking about what version of yourself are you consciously creating? And that may sound like psychobabble gobbledygook to some people, but I want to bring your attention to how much of our lives we sometimes live on automatic. And that's not a bad thing, okay? even our physical bodies are designed, our brain, our nervous system is designed by our great divine intelligent creator to detect contrast, determine whether that contrast is a threat, and align with patterns so that you can rest. It's called homeostasis, right? So we always look for whatever it is going to take us out of homeostasis, neutralize that threat, and then come back to homeostasis so we can chill. That's how we know we're safe. That's how we know we are ensuring our survival. And so a lot of times what happens is that we get on automatic in our relationships, with our money, in our professions, in our communities, with our spiritual walk, etc., because that's homeostasis and that's what feels safe. However, growth, maturity does not exist in homeostasis. It exists in discomfort. It exists in the growth. It exists in the stretch. It exists in the edges. You have to actually deliberately put yourself out of homeostasis in order to mature, to grow, to develop, to amplify who you are as a human being. And that takes deliberate creation. That takes a voluntary commitment, right? Sometimes we get thrown into those things that it looks like it's not voluntary. Like, I didn't ask for this guy. Listen, I know you thought I was one of your strong soldiers, but I didn't sign up for this. Please undraft me, right? And while you may be saying that from your resistance, from your need for comfort, as it were, I want you to know that everything that you have ever faced, you have been equipped for. And even if you have felt unequipped, it is in the walking through it that you equip yourself. You get what I'm saying? And so I want to ask you today, what version of yourself are you consciously creating? Sometimes we say things about ourselves and we define ourselves in certain ways, and then are surprised and angry and resentful when our own self-made prophecies come true. Let me give you an example. Somebody might say, and be very proud to say, that they are a problem solver. Well, guess what you're going to have in order to justify your existence? If you're a problem solver, you're going to have problems to solve because you're a problem solver. And if somebody says, I'm the go-to person. Well, everybody goes to you with everything because you're the go-to, right? And so you want to be very clear about how you are defining yourself and what you are inviting into your existence with your words, with your way of being. And I'm going to say way of being even more importantly than your words, because a lot of times we may say one thing and our way of being says another. And we live in an energetic vibratory universe. So I hear what you're saying, but I'm also watching what you're doing and how you're being, right? And so you may say, I want peace, but vibrationally, you're just really resonant with problems. So you say peace, but your life is full of chaos and drama and problems because that's where you're vibrating, right? How do you then first get conscious of what you're producing, what vibe you're in? And two, if you don't like it, how do you change it, right? That's a conscious process of creation. And I'm going to start by another quote. Gloria Steinem has been quoted as saying, and I say has been quoted as saying, because I don't know if these people said what they said or not. And typically, somebody else said it and they get credited for it, but Gloria Steinem has been quoted as saying, the truth will set you free, but it might piss you off first. Excuse my French. And I am of the band of people who's like, I really don't care what the truth is. I just want to know the truth. I can deal with anything as long as it's the truth. right? Like, consider me your lawyer friend. That's like, I don't care if you did it. I just want to know what we're walking into in court so I know how to defend you. You know what I mean? And so I want to elucidate some steps in order to, number one, get clear on where you're standing vibration-wise. Two, what you want to create and what shifts have to happen between point A and point B in order for you to create the version of yourself that you say you want to create. You know? So the first thing is you have to tell the truth. You have to tell the truth about where you are, how you're feeling, how you're judging it, how you are experiencing whatever it is that you're experiencing. Because the thing itself doesn't have any meaning outside of the meaning that you give it, right? To give you a very basic, mundane example, at the beginning of my workout journey, when I was working, Brittany has been a guest here on Spiritual Matters Thursday, and she's my personal trainer. She lives in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So we train via Zoom. And there have been times when, at the beginning of the journey, when she would tell me to do wall sits. I don't know if you ever know what wall sits are, but you're putting your back against the wall and you're dropping down so that your back with your hip and then your knees with your legs are all at 45-degree angles. Excuse me, 90-degree angles. So that was very painful and stressful and undesirable at the beginning of my training journey. It still is undesirable, but I have an increased level of proficiency now. So now I see it as a challenge. I'm like, okay, Walfred, you're not gonna beat me today, right? And so now it's like I'm welcoming the discomfort because I know that that means I'm prepping, that I'm getting stronger, that I'm getting better at my form, et cetera, et cetera. Because I have changed an identity from, at the beginning, it was really vanity. It was like, oh, I'm out of shape and I'm just this, middle-aged woman trying to get in shape, to evolving the identity to being an athlete. Would an athlete be whining this much about training that they volunteered for? No, they would just do it. It's not comfortable. But so what? I didn't sign up for comfort. I signed up for growth. I signed up for conditioning. I signed up for training. That's what I signed up for. So let me train, let me condition, right? And same wall sit. The whole time, the exercise has not changed. It's still 90 degrees here, 90 degrees there. Sitting it there for 30 seconds, and then a minute, and then 90 seconds. And as you get stronger, it gets longer. But it doesn't get any hard, it doesn't get easier, right? You just get stronger. And it's the same thing with your challenges, the same thing with the things that you see in your own life, that it's like the challenge itself doesn't change. The circumstance itself doesn't change. It's still a bill paying. It's still an uncomfortable conversation. It's still maybe a conflict with family members or with a coworker or et cetera, et cetera. It may be even a crisis of faith. The thing itself doesn't have any meaning and it doesn't have any weight of itself. It's the meaning and the weight that you give it. And the meaning and the weight that you give it is based on your identity, who you say that you are. And so you have to first tell the truth about it. I wouldn't have said to myself back then, I'm just a middle-aged woman trying to lose a few pounds. But that's how I was acting. And that's how I was seeing all those things, right? And eventually I started training long enough and it got hard enough. And then I got more knowledgeable about the food that I was eating and the rest and supplements and blah, blah, blah. It was like, this is a veritable science. This isn't just about doing a couple of exercises that I can fit on a dress. This is about my wellness. This is about my body. This is about longevity, about aging gracefully, about blah, blah, blah. And it became bigger than that. So now I have a different identity. Now this is an athlete conditioning herself, right? For just everyday performance and for strength and for flexibility and stamina and all this other good stuff. So where in your life, what domain of your life, it may be relationships, it may be money, maybe your career, it may be your spiritual health. Where in your life have you been telling yourself, I'm just a blank, trying to blank? Because what happens is that when you tell yourself that, you are subconsciously permitting mediocrity. You are subconsciously acquiescing to smallness. because you're just a blank trying to blank, right? But if you were up here, if you were an athlete conditioning, then it's like, look, this is just part of the process. And I'm not saying a thing until I get to a particular metric or a particular milestone that I myself have designed for myself to create. So first, tell the truth. Secondly, even if you don't like it, but you have to tell the truth. And then the second step is tell the truth about where you want to be. Sometimes we do not want to give ourselves permission. We think it's too lofty. We think that's too much. It'll take too long. But guess what? The year that I've spent training with Brittany, it was going to pass regardless. Now, are you going to be 12 months later still a middle-aged woman trying to lose some weight? Or are you going to be an athlete 12 months later? The 12 months are going to pass regardless. So tell the truth about where you want to be and give yourself permission. Dare greatly. Declare ambitiously, right? And then the third step is whatever that gap is between where you say that you are and where you say that you want to be, where have you quit on yourself? Because this is why this is important. What happens is that in any growth process, you're going to meet resistance. You're going to meet, it's like tennis. There's got to be somebody on the other side of the net, otherwise you don't have a game, right? And so you're going to meet resistance. And if in your body, in your cellular memory, you have the idea, or you have the remembrance, or you have the experience of when things get hard, I stop. When things get inconvenient, I quit. Then the next time that you have another challenge, you're going to be predisposed to stop, to quit. Because in your subconscious, that's who you are, right? And so you want to tell yourself, this is where I am, this is where I want to be. And when I have tried it, this is where I have stopped. And the reason why you want to say that, articulate that to yourself, is so that when it comes, you can interrupt yourself. Because you're already telling your brain, I already knew this was going to happen. I already knew it was going to get hard. I already knew that I didn't trust myself before. You're not saying anything new. I'm just creating a new neural pathway in my own nervous system, a new habit, a new practice, if you will, so that I can create a different result. Does that make sense what I'm saying? If you can't say amen, say ouch. Who's saying amen and who's saying ouch? Put it on the chat. If you're saying amen, say amen in the chat. If you're saying ouch, say ouch. It's all right. We're all family. Robin is about to say something. He looks like he's trying to unmute himself. Robin, come online.
Both. I'm in the car, so I can't do the chat. Both. I'm ouching and amening. It's so true. What you're saying is so completely true, not on a personal, spiritual, but as far as interacting with the rest of the world. What do you say about yourself, and how do you see yourself, and what are you creating? You're spot on. You're 100% spot on.
Thank you, my friend. So I wanna put it out there for the family, for the community. What are we saying about ourselves? What is an identity in your life, a role that you play, if you will, that you're really, really proud of? And then what's another one that you want to take some ground on, that you want to stretch yourself and grow? What's one that you're proud of and you're like, yeah, that's right, I did that, I own that, I'm good on that. And then what's another one that you're like, and I can take some steps here, I can grow here? Who wants to share?
Good morning, this is CC.
Who wants to be honest?
Hello, CC.
Hey, I'm going to be honest.
Yes.
Where I struggle at is the internal dialogue that I think and say about myself. Of course, it's a constant shifting the thoughts to something positive. It's like exercising. Do it because it's beneficial, not because you like it. I don't always like exercising. So I don't always like changing my mind, but I make myself change my mind. And the things that I've been growing at is I have jumped out of the box. I'm running for city council in the city where I'm located. Who does that with no experience? And I do have a lot of people that are supporting me because of the current leadership. They just want change. And my intention is, okay, the Lord let me get into that position so that I can train a younger person to rise up into leadership. And I would have and helped a lot of people along the way through my experience and the education and everything else that God has blessed me with. So that's something
Way
that
to
I'm
go.
proud of. Thank you.
Way to go. They'll be lucky to have you. I'm excited about that journey for you. It's awesome. Who else has something?
You got me all over the place.
Oh,
because
okay.
there's things that I want and steps that I know I have to take. For instance, my wife and I just got back from a vacation at the beach. And while I'm at the beach, I'm looking at myself and I'm tan and I feel good. And when I look in the mirror, then I look at my little 58-year-old belly sticking out there and my wimpy 58-year-old pectoral muscles that have no form to them. And I think, I said a year ago that if I would just start doing 15 minutes worth of upper body work once a day, that this would already be different. And like you said, 12 months is going to pass anyway. Are you going to overcome the challenge and be who you want to be, create the version of yourself you want, or are you just going to let the internal dialogue and what you say about yourself not make that happen? I'm trying to finish my final editing on my book. And I mean, it'd probably take me an hour if I would sit down and just focus on it and get it done. But I'm exhausted every time I go to work on it. And I'm like, why is this so hard? Why am I not? Because I'm telling myself it's hard. I'm telling myself, who writes a book? Who knocks this out in less than a year? Who makes this happen? This is impossible. I know people have been writing books for 5 years and they're still not done. You don't need to worry about that. And I'm thinking, that's ridiculous. Why am I comparing myself to somebody else? My version of me has the book done, looks really buff in his upper body when he goes to the beach, and has great relationships with people around him. Now I've been able to start working on the great relationships part. And the Daily Huddle is part of that journey, because it made me face some things in myself as I was working on the spiritual matters thing.
Yeah.
But there's other places where I'm going, wow, I really need to make a difference here and stop saying I'm just a 58-year-old middle-aged man with a paunchy belly and no pectoral muscles. I am an athlete. I am desirous of that change, and I will do whatever it takes to get through that. Right. So next summer, look out, guys. Next summer,
all right,
look out.
I'm
so
ready.
Perfect topic for me today.
I'm ready.
Perfect
I got
topic
some
for me
pectoral
today,
muscles
Monikah.
for you. We're gonna
Absolutely.
see. We're gonna see who can rock them better.
I'm ready, girl. Yep. Come on. All right. Challenge me.
I love it. I love it. You're on. Thank you, Robin. That's awesome. Gio, you're up, my friend.
Hey, thank you. Forgive me, I can't be on camera right now. I wanted to ask something I was discovering in the conversation for me. I don't know if you were saying this, but this is what I was creating, or this is what I was getting, was that who I am today it is some version of what I have been saying to myself that I am. And I can't quite distinguish what I have been saying, but I do have the product of what I have been saying. Is what I've been saying in this conversation. And going along with the conversation of being an athlete, I certainly have not been saying that. I've been saying something else, right? But also the other things that I'm not necessarily bringing judgment to myself, but that certainly areas where I am not where I would like to be, I plan to be, etc. How do I discover? Do you have like something to point to, or tips, if you will, where I can discover what I have been saying to myself? How do I discover what I have been saying? What created the blueprint of who I am today?
Okay, let me see if I understand what you're asking me. How do I discover when I don't have words for my identity? How do I know what
I have been saying?
What I have been saying, right?
Because I know the product, me.
Yes.
The product. So
yes.
what have I been saying?
Well,
what is it that I've been honoring?
We
that
check
led to
in
this
with
thought?
our results.
Yeah.
We check in with our experience. So here's what I mean. You might have a result of, I have XYZ amount of money in my bank account. But the experience of that, do you feel rich? Do you feel accomplished? Does it feel stressful? Does it feel tight? Because the money itself, like I said, the result itself doesn't have any inherent meaning, right? But we have an experience of it. We have a thought and opinion about it. And so when you're not clear about where you've been standing, check in with the results and then check in with the experience of what you're telling yourself it means. So for example, I know that you play tennis, right? And so when you're out there playing tennis, what are you saying about your game? Are you celebrating your progress, or are you saying, dang, I've fallen behind and this, I still haven't gotten this right, and da-da-da-da, right?
Oh,
And
yeah. So here's what I've been saying in the world of tennis. I'm
Mhm.
never too old to continue to get better. So I continue
Okay,
to get better.
I love it.
I am better now than a better player, not faster,
Mhm.
than when I was 20. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
So that I have been saying that for sure in the world of
that's
tennis.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So then now you wanna ask yourself, you wanna take it to the next level and say, am I
What
happy?
have I been saying about my body? What have I been saying about my
Yeah, well, and then determine whether or not you're like, am I happy? Take tennis, for example. Am I happy here, or is there some growth that I want to take? Right? If I'm not happy here, because I could be happy here and still want to take some growth. It's like I like this money. Okay with more money too. All right. So it doesn't have to come from a place of dissatisfaction. It can really come from a place of, oh, great, and more. Yeah. So yes, and looking at different domains of your life and saying, okay, so what do I want to say here? What do I want to say about what kind of father I am? What do I want to say about what kind of partner I am? What do I want to say about what kind of business owner I am?
Well, I really like where you're pointing to, and I want to recreate this. Look at my results, and then look at the experience of myself of having those results.
Yeah.
So my results is I don't have an athletic body. Okay, that's my results. What is the experience of saying that?
Mhm.
My experience of my life is I like it. I'm happy. I'm a happy human being. That was not, I certainly have not been striving for an athletic body. And at the same time, I wish I did. But now what you're pointing to is, well, create that without disempowering yourself. Create that. Yeah.
Yeah, and here it goes back to step one about telling the truth, because you might say this would be really nice to look like, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, but it's not important enough to me. I'm not willing to put in that work to be that meticulous with my eating, to like be, rigorous with something. I don't want to do that like that. So I'm okay with where I'm at, even though it looks real good, but I'm not willing to put on the effort. Versus I'm not built that way, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just tell the truth. I don't want to.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, who's next? I see oh, that's Rashida, right?
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Good morning. Good morning. I am so excited that Gio really make the point, and that Dr. Ogando, thank you so much for the topic, because it's my journey to Costa Rica. As a matter of fact, I came to Costa Rica, went to Curacao for 7 days, came back to Costa Rica, and my whole journey began like 13 weeks ago, when I started to put my health in my hands. And I worked so hard on my health that when I came to Costa Rica, there's a clinic where we go that we do the whole spectrum of checkout and check-in. And yesterday was my day when I went to the doctors, because I see 6 doctors yesterday. And when they give me the result, and they also give you where your age is falling under. And I am 62 years old, and I'm fall under 26 years. And I'm so happy because in the work that I put into getting healthy and getting vibrant and doing my exercise pay off.
That's right.
I have no result more an excellent and more excellent result into my health.
I
So
love it. Congratulations.
so happy.
I'm happy
that-
with you.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. When the doctor says, oh, you have no cholesterol, no pressure, no sugar, no, I was like, yes.
That's right. I have nothing. I have life force is what I have. Life
So
force and energy.
let me give you a joke. I called my kids, my 3 girls, they were on Zoom with me, and I said, girls, I have 2 news for you all guys. One bad and one good. And I say to them, I say, the bad one is that you all have to put up with me for a whole century and then some. I hear one of my daughters say, oh, mommy, please give us the bad news, because that was not the news we want to hear. But they were talking with me. But I am so happy to know that health for me is first, second is my health, and third is my consciousness to be healthy and stay healthy. Thank you, guys. And with that,
gosh, that's awesome. Rashida for the win, man. Shit, that was great news. That was awesome news. Thank you so much, Rashida, for sharing that. And what an inspiration for us all to take ourselves on physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually in that way, so that we can be at our best for a long time to come. So thank you so much for saying that. And I'm going to challenge all of us here today. Spend some time today thinking about journaling, maybe meditating on where you are, what version of yourself you are creating right now. And the way to answer that is looking at your results and the experience or the story you tell about those results. Tell the truth about it first. And then give yourself a place where you want to be in a determined amount of time, a year from now, 30 days from now, a week from now even. And so that when we meet again for the next week's Thursday, Spiritual Matters Thursday, that you'll have a different story, right? That you've made some progress, that you've taken some steps, that you've handled some business, that you've taken yourself on, etc. Because growth is where life happens. So thank you everybody for being here. Remember, of course, love generously, laugh loudly, give of yourself, your time, energy, attention, sleep more, at least 7 hours, eat more plant-based, stress less, move your body, shake your tail feather. Remember that twerking is a Kundalini raising sport. And always audit your assumptions, check yourself before you wreck yourself. We love you. See you next time.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
one love,
Thank
guys.
you.
One love.
Excellent job.
One love, guys.
Thank you.